Hello and welcome to My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live. I'm Gaurav Kapur. We're going to be here with you for the next, 50, 40. To help me with the calculations, Mr. Harsha Bhogle and Mr. Zaheer Khan. Sir, how many days? Sir, you are the resident mathematical genius in absence of Professor Bhattacharya.
Today's 30th.
Yes. 29.
World Cup starts on the 30th.
30th.
30, 31.
Yeah.
30 days in June, 14 days in July.
Okay.
So,
Which is
45, I said correct then.
46.
Okay.
what a way to start for a preview.
What is it, 45 or 46? Are we counting the days that you won't be playing between the semi-finals and the finals? Safe to say we're going to be here with you every day from now till the 14th of July, talking about, of course, the biggest spectacle, the biggest gathering of cricket talent from around the world, the World Cup, of course. I have with me a person who knows a little bit about winning the World Cup, knows a little about winning the IPL, knows a little bit about winning a lot of hearts. Mr. Zaheer Khan, welcome back, Zach. Welcome back.
A lot has been different here now, since the time I was here last.
Yes, it is.
A lot of changes.
Yeah, good changes, I hope.
Very good changes.
We've changed some of the furniture.
I like the purple color also.
Thank you very much. I just want to say some of the furniture has changed, some has not.
Something has come back. The red table.
It's sort of the red table. It's a red and black table. The original red table has disappeared. I have no comment to make on that matter right now.
Actually, he wore purple because he thought the IPL is still on and he'd show some sympathy for KKR.
Yeah, just carrying on the hangover. The hangover's going on. But Zach, I hope we tried to make the sofa slightly more comfortable than the dugout
This is
chairs.
very comfortable, I must say.
More comfortable than dugout chairs, no? Those are not very comfortable.
I can sit upright on this.
Yes, you can. In the dugout, you're just like... But I know as fans of cricket, you're going to be chewing a lot of nails as well because we are watched by people all across the world. So it's not just India fans who are watching us, I'm sure. You're fans of other teams as well. This, just straight off the bat, gentlemen, I want to say, is this the most even World Cup that we will possibly see because of the format and because of the form that the teams are going in with and their combinations? Possibly the most even World Cup we will see in a really long time?
I'm not sure whether even, but it's definitely, you could definitely say the best team will win the World Cup because they'll have to play everybody else.
Yep.
So there's no lucky team that will squeak through into the quarterfinals because kahin barish ho gayi, kahin something else happen.
Yeah.
You have to play everybody else. It's a fabulous format. The same format we had back in '92 when South Africa suddenly came in. That was 9 teams. 45 league games, that's the number you were searching for.
No,
45 games.
But no, yeah, there's 45. But there's not 45 games. There's not 45 games over 45 days because there's 2 games on certain days as well.
And there's no games on some others.
Yeah, it's very complicated, but don't worry, we're here to talk you through it. I would have, Zach, would you have liked to see playoffs as well here? After everyone plays everyone?
Would have been nice, but I mean, when you're talking about the format, there's one thing which this World Cup format is definitely going to take away is the fact that you won't see any of the upsets. I mean, you might see upset in terms of
one game here
a weaker team beating a stronger team, but that's not going to have any impact on the World Cup qualification as per se to go to that playoffs. So that's something, with the excitement of World Cup, if you look at over the history of World Cup, you like to see that upset as well. You like to see that strong team not going through to the next round. That's something which is not going to be seen in this format. And that's something which I'm not personally happy with. Yes, on the positive side, that 9 teams, 10 teams are playing 9 matches, and the stronger team is going to go through. You will have chance of coming back in the tournament. So that the strong teams are going to go through. But those excitement and the nerves of a strong team can be kept out.
Or a wild card can go into the top 4,
going to the
semis,
next round and a weaker team going through. Those things you won't see.
So basically, you won't get Ireland versus Bangladesh in place of India versus Pakistan.
Yeah, exactly.
World Cup.
I don't want that.
That won't
At least
happen.
India and Pakistan fans don't want that. With due respect to Bangladesh and Ireland, that was a hard day in 2007 for India cricket fans. Obviously, Bangladesh cricket fans are very happy that day. Irish cricket fans are very happy. But I don't think I'll ever forget that day.
No, I don't think anybody will. It was just one of those, how did it happen? You might get one of those upsets. You might have Afghanistan on a good day suddenly beating somebody, or the West Indies batting juggernaut just clicks, and they make 400 like they did the other day.
Yeah.
But I think over a period of 9 games, the best teams inevitably...
It levels out. Yeah. So I like what Zach is saying. Actually, he spun it on the head and saying, this format could actually suffer from being a bit too predictable, right? It could just become too predictable at the strongest ones. But that's the thing, is that are there 4 clear favorites? Let's just sort that out immediately. Can you today, on the first day or on the eve of the first game of the tournament, can you say with any surety who your 4 would be?
I'm willing to take a punt on 3.
Okay, go for it.
Chalega?
Chalo, why not, sir?
I mean, if England doesn't make it, then I mean, England last staged a World Cup and went out before the official song was released. That's not going to happen this time. Honest, last time they had a World Cup, they had this big song released, but by then England was already out of the World Cup.
Oh, brutal.
So that's not going to happen. That was back in 99, right?
99, yes.
Yeah, back in 99. So so England will go through.
Okay, you're backing England for one.
Yeah. If India doesn't go through, it'll be big news.
Yeah.
So I think India will go through. I think you ignore all that Australia did in 17-18.
Yeah.
When just some people who stole the costumes came out and played literally. Someone else was coming and playing. They will go through. Next, South Africa, Pakistan, New Zealand. One of them. You have a favorite?
It's tough, huh? You can't pick the 4.
You can pick the 4 performances, so that's something which are definitely going to make the favorites, and that's what you've been hearing right throughout. All the experts have been talking about, okay, England will be very disappointed, or this is their best chance, possibly to win the World Cup. India is looking very strong. Even though the conditions and the warm-up games, you can look at they're still figuring things out, but on the whole, in the last couple of years, their record shows that they've been very consistent. Australia is someone you cannot rule out.
They like the big stage.
They know how to deal with that pressure.
They've got a few World Cups to show that.
Yeah, so they have that backing and that moral support. That's also important. If as a team also you have history of winning World Cups, that should work as a motivation for you to deal with pressure as well. So I would say Australia is the 3rd team, and the 4th team, I think between New Zealand, West Indies and Pakistan possibly.
South Africa, no?
Well, South Africa has been very consistent in World Cups.
Yeah, see, I'm telling you it's tough.
If they stick with the consistency, then you can say 4.
Yeah, maybe. But I want to say, so what we want to say is, and what my concern is, the 2015 World Cup, if you saw it was not about the quality of the cricket, but just quality of the cricket, of course, is, it's top flight. There were far too many one-sided, almost dead encounters, right? Like you could tell pretty much 50-60% into the game that you know what the result is going to be. You don't want that in this tournament because for the format, that's a really bad thing. In any format or whatever game you play, you want it to go down to the last 7, 8, 10% time-wise, where you don't know who's going to win.
But they've got to import the IPL.
Yeah, that's what, right?
But I mean, the IPL is a great tournament from that point of view.
Yeah.
In that you never know who's going to qualify. Anybody can make the top 4. Yeah. Everything is so close. If you have a World Cup like that, it's going to be
dream,
fantastic.
Right? It really is because Zach, you remember the 2015 World Cup? It was a problem, right? Because there were way too many one-sided games. I mean, the final ended up being one-sided, didn't it? Yeah. After Mitchell Starc got the Brendan McCullum wicket, everybody was like, "Oh well, here goes Australia again on the podium," right? Yeah. So you don't want that to happen in this World Cup or in any.
When you talk about matches being played in England, one thing goes with that: weather. So I think that's going to play a huge part. Whether the games are going to be rain affected, whether you're going to get the full game. All those things are also going to matter. So in terms of matches being competitive, I think the warm-up games are also suggestive of that fact. Afghanistan beating Pakistan was also suggestive of that fact that none of the teams you can take lightly on their given.
Which is a good thing. I mean, in 2015, you could walk in and say, "This is my game."
Yeah.
Also, teams like West Indies have become much better since 2015. Afghanistan have become better since 2015. So there isn't a team you could go in. I mean, say England is playing Afghanistan the other day, they knocked it off in 15 overs. You can get results like those. But there's hardly a day when you'll walk in and say, "You know what, I got him. Go out of my way."
I got him. I'm going to swat you like a fly. That's not going to happen. And we don't want that to happen because you want competitive games. You don't want a game to be getting over in like 22 overs and, just like I was just a walk in the park. Those are not the kind of games that ODI cricket needs. What has happened in one-day cricket, of course, T20 cricket for the last decade has, of course, been ruling the charts, so to speak. But in the last 4 years, what has one-day cricket done for itself? Well, these are the number of games, almost 500 games played. There you go, average
scoring. It's a big T20 match, slowly.
Yeah?
It's a big T20 match.
Yeah, you just...
It is, especially the way England are playing on those flat decks.
Correct.
On those
Yes.
flat decks, it's one big T20 match.
But sir, I want to pull one thing out of this. Zach, conventionally, would you sort of say 100 is equal to a 5-wicket haul, sort of for bowlers and batsmen,
Test
right?
matches, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, it's just been, the last 4 years has pretty much been batting dominated, hasn't it?
Also, a lot of pressure is on the bowlers because of the fact that the field restriction rule has been in action for the longest period.
Please explain to people, because fielding restrictions and fielding rules have changed so often in one-day cricket that people are genuinely out there, even knowledgeable cricket fans are genuinely out there going, hang on, man, I think I've lost track of what the last
because last week the rules were different.
That's
and I don't know what they're going to be next week.
Exactly. It's almost like what happened to F1 racing, right? I just lost track of what the rule changes were.
So one rule which has stayed constant is that first power play rule, right?
Correct.
The two fielders outside the power play. It used to be 15 overs, now it's 10 overs.
It's 10.
Right? So after that, the second power play starts, which begins from over number 11 till about over number 40.
Yeah.
And in that, you can have 4 fielders outside the ring.
Yeah.
In olden days, it used to be 4 fielders inside the ring.
Yeah.
So you could have 5 fielders outside,
Now it's
barring bowler and
now
keeper.
it's swapped.
Yeah. So now it's
But
swapped.
what it has done is that what he's saying is absolutely correct. One of the reasons you're getting all these big scores is people are saying from 34 to 40, let me go for it if I have wickets in hand, because after 40 I'll have the extra fielder outside.
Correct.
So 34 to 40, you're starting to get 35 to 40, starting to get a lot of big scores.
Yeah.
Because people are saying, let me take advantage of this. Sometimes you'll see that the spinners are held back by 33, 34 and brought on again over number 41, 42 because they want to use that extra fielder outside.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot of that actually. Seeing a lot of spin being bowled in the last 10 overs. And also, then you say they're going hard from 34 to 40, but one batsman is trying to stay till there because then if he's there, it doesn't matter if they're 5 or 10 on the boundary because he's set and will try to aim for the spectators.
Big scoring World Cup this.
Yeah, is this going to be? Because, there was so much talk of, leading up to it, people kept saying, England and seam bowling conditions. And Michael Vaughan came on during the IPL when he was here. He's like, that's rubbish. Whoever say that there'll be seaming conditions has not seen cricket in England for the last 4 years. He says there are going to be batting wickets and there's going to be 350 plus scores.
He said rubbish.
Rubbish. Yorkshire. Rubbish. Absolute rubbish. England and Pakistan also, the ODIs that happened right now.
Pakistan with 340. Pakistan with 340 regularly. They're a side that the top 3 struggle to get a strike rate of 100.
Yeah.
They were making 340
and losing the game.
and losing easily. Yeah.
So you're just thinking that actually then when you look at it, you're going, all right, so every team has batsmen capable of 340, 350. So Zach, that would make you happy because actually it'll be the best bowling side that will win the World Cup, won't it?
Yeah, but like I said, it all depends on what kind of conditions are on offer. Like, you can have the best of the wickets, but if it's overcast condition in England, there will be some help for the bowlers. And in that case, your bowlers are going to come into play. If you have bowlers who can deliver in any sort of conditions, that will definitely have an advantage. And looking at the Indian bowling attack also, they have that advantage. And I think apart from any other team in the World Cup, they'll possibly be able to say that, okay, we have the X factor in Bumrah. We have 2 leg spinners. One is Chinaman, one is conventional leg spinner, and that is something which has been working in the modern day cricket. So that's something which has been the hallmark of this modern era, where the wrist spinners have been making that impact, and those options are available with the Indian team. So that's something which we'll have to wait and see if they can take advantage of that going forward in the tournament.
It's a peculiar thing. At one level, it's become a long 20-over game.
Yeah.
At another level, wicket-taking bowlers are critical because if you don't take wickets, everybody is getting 350.
Yeah.
So it's gone back to the game as we knew it, which is that the batsmen score runs, the bowlers take wickets.
Yeah.
And we had a phase in the game when those middle overs used to be called the non-aggression pact.
They were called, or as I call them, the snooze fest.
Correct, the snooze fest. So the bowling side said, I won't get you out. The batting side said, okay, I won't hurt you.
Yeah.
Let's just sort of go along gently.
Yeah.
Now that's all changed because people are saying after 40, the one more fielder goes out, let me score runs. And now it's all about taking wickets. It's gone back to cricket as it used to be. Try and get the batsman out.
Yeah, and that's great, right? Because earlier, like snooze fest, as we say, it was almost like dinner with the in-laws, right? Everybody just stay calm. just eat quietly. Don't say too much. Let's just get it done with.
Okay, who's the youngest who's had an in-law recently here?
The one right here. Yeah, you just play it cool, right? Just play it cool. Don't aggravate anybody. Don't break anything in the house. Just don't say anything controversial. That would become like that, and that's why the game has changed. Right? And India has actually taken good advantage of that because the middle overs, which has been Yadav and Kuldeep and Chahal, have actually been attacking and taking wickets, right? So we'll just, we're talking about India, so let's just get that ball rolling for this World Cup. With that, to just come back to that, attack in the middle overs, that's what India has done differently in the last few years, right?
Well, what India has been doing a lot of things right in the last couple of years. To start with, their batting has been very consistent. Their top three has been delivering. So that has been setting the platform for the bowlers as well, more often than not. And in terms of bowling also, if you see, in the first 10 overs, they've been picking 2 wickets consistently. And that's something which really sets the platform for your spinners to come on and cash on that. And Kuldeep and Chahal have been doing consistently, taking those 3 wickets from over number 11 till 40. So which also means that the opposition more often than not about 5 down by the time they hit those last 10 overs.
And also to add to that, you take the wickets, automatically your economy rate becomes better, right?
We need to look at that. I was about to point out that economy rate, that 5.07, you're not going to get those at this World Cup. Because the tracks will be so dry, unless, as Zach said, overhead conditions change. So that 5.07 might grow, but it's still telling you take wickets, you're right. That economy rate does come down. Everything changes if you take wickets.
You pointed out right now when we were chatting before the show about 3 Indian bowlers having an economy rate.
You look at Bumrah, you look at Chahal, look at Kuldeep. They've all got economy rates under 5. And Bumrah's a freak. Bumrah's taken, 80 odd wickets in 45, 46 games, which in itself is fantastic. 85 in 49, and he's got an economy rate of under 5. Chahal under 5, Kuldeep under 5, and if you play Shami is actually, since he's come back, he's giving you wickets in the middle overs too. So you've got 4 bowlers who can give you wickets in the middle overs. The key is what is going to be the form of
Kuldeep Yadav.
If Kuldeep's in form, India's
formidable bowling unit for sure. All bases covered. And also with Bumrah being a freak and an X factor, he's also spent 2 months with the guy who's got the most wickets for India in all 3 World Cups in 03, 07 and 2011, Zaheer Khan. For the last 2 months, Bumrah has spent that. Thoda ashirwad diya usko, wickets wala ashirwad.
Actually, I think you should show him a little more respect. World Cup winner, leading wicket taker, थोड़ा झुक के ऐसे सलाम
थोड़ा झुक के बात करें
ऐसे दोनों.
It's starting from tomorrow. Okay?
We can't. I tell you why we can't, because our this area here, you can't bend too much. Then you can see the
नौजवान बात कर रहा है. हाँ.
नहीं sir, the pitch. It doesn't have enough grass covering. In some places.
Like there's no grass, it's all gone.
It's a problem. But listen, we are ready to embrace our age. We all are. Irrespective of...
Talk for yourself.
No, I am. India, the games they are playing, the first one, of course. Zach, is this a problem though? I really want to ask you this. India's playing their first game pretty much last, right? Everybody, I think a couple of teams have also played 2 games.
South Africa will be playing their third.
South Africa will be playing their 3rd game then by the time India plays their first game against them. The H is missing there, but it's not silent. It's South Africa. They're playing the first game in Southampton against them. Does that become a thing sometimes? Like you're just sitting around for like 7-8 days and everybody else is playing a game and you're just itching to go out?
Well, to start with, I think looking at the points table, by the time India is playing their first match, most of the teams would have put points on board. And especially the teams which India is playing in the first 3 or 4 matches. And India that way has got it tough in this World Cup. They're starting with South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and then Pakistan. So 4 big games. And I just feel that because they're starting so late, the pressure will always be on them to figure things out, because when South Africa is playing their 3rd match, they're already into the World Cup. They've gone through those nerves, those initial playing 11 combinations and all that, and you're in the World Cup with your strategies, planning, that little fine tuning which is required, which will be the case with all the teams which India will be playing in the first 3 matches.
Correct. They'll be slightly more settled and sorted by that time.
So you're always behind.
It'd be interesting. Why are India starting so late? Something to do with when the IPL ended, or? Why India starting so
I think
late?
it's complicated. There were too many uncertainties, I would say, before the schedule was finalized.
Yeah.
And there had to be some kind of break before the last game
there's
of
that
IPL
mandatory,
and the first match.
But of course, the most important thing we must talk about, and I don't know why nobody is talking about this, is who's going to play at number 4 for India.
Nobody's talking about
Yeah,
it. I know. We haven't talked about it for 18 minutes. That's a world record.
Yeah, almost, right?
That's
We've got 18 minutes without.
It's all done. It's all done, dusted, all decided.
That means someone has.
So that's KL Rahul for you. He's number 4.
You've got to stay with him at number 4.
Yeah.
But what I like about KL Rahul is, you look at the 3 outstanding number 4s in this tournament. One is Owen Morgan.
Yeah.
One is Ross Taylor. One is Faf du Plessis. They're both capable of playing, rotating the strike around, playing singles.
Don't forget Steve Smith. He played 4 as well.
He'll play 4 as well. He's just coming back. They're perfectly capable of playing the single rotate kind of game, but they're also capable of hitting the big shots.
Yeah.
KL Rahul can play that game. That's what I like about him. But he should be told, listen, that is yours now.
Yeah.
He can't go out thinking, if I nick one today, tomorrow again, I'm sitting back in.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly. He looked very. Normally you don't draw too many conclusions from a warm-up game, but he looked in really good nick.
Well, I mean, for me, it's pretty simple. If you want someone to bat there, that player has to claim that spot.
Yeah.
And I think KL Rahul now, you can say, has claimed that spot. Vijay Shankar was not available, we understand, but in the last 2 years, no one has really claimed that spot.
Yeah.
You know, enough players have got the opportunities there, and now going in the World Cup, which is starting from tomorrow, I think KL Rahul with the squad. Now you know that this is going to be the squad. This is the combination which India will be playing. Yes, number 4 spot. There's still a debate. But now I think he has put that debate to rest.
But the thing is that the team management said that KL Rahul is going as a backup opener, right? That's what the talk was. Did the management say it, or did we just all presume that?
No, but he's batted at number 4 both the matches.
They did say that.
But they did say he's going as a reserve opener.
As a reserve opener.
But he just said, okay, but I'll just.
But I don't trust anything that is said about number 4 anymore.
I'll just go runs.
But I think, I don't know if I'm wrong, but in the last 2.5 years, from your point of saying nobody's staked their claim on number 4, I think the most successful at number 4 still is UV in that first 6 months of 2017. I think that run that he had at that time.
Yeah. He got that one big innings of 150.
He got that 100 against England in Pune, I think it was. He won 2 Man of the Match awards or something. He's the one who had that run, and after that, so many have come and played it.
UV, even at the tail end of his career, was a very special white ball player.
Yeah.
So if you had someone of UV's class in the second half of his career, you'd still take him any day today to go out and bat at 4.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, he was a giant at number 4. Zach did well in the 2011 World Cup, but UV was like
a huge part. And
a big part.
Even now, I mean, the way he's batting, he can easily, because you have enough time in ODIs.
Yeah.
It's just about having that backup of fitness and making sure that you last, and also team management showing that kind of faith in him. So if the time has passed now, it could have been done, but that kind of approach has not been there. But the number of people tried at number 4 position, he could have easily been one of them.
Yeah.
Just as a last option to try figure out, give him few ODIs and see how he was flaring up there. Because in terms of batting, the ability is still there.
Yeah, ability is beyond all doubt and question. All right, England. Let's look at them. England, of course, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Right? That's what they have been at the World Cup.
Till the world learned how to play ODI cricket properly, England kept making semis and finals.
Yes.
Once the world learned how to play ODI cricket, England never made a semi-final. I mean, didn't come anywhere close.
Yeah.
And I've never in my life seen the positive outcome of a terrible performance as much as England in 2015.
Yeah, they just did control alt delete, right? System reboot.
Actually, Owen Morgan said, if we had sneaked our way through into the quarterfinals, then maybe this change wouldn't have come.
Yeah.
England was so bad. They were an auto rickshaw while everyone else was driving on the highway.
Yeah.
That they're forced to make the changes. And the changes, I mean, I think England go into this as dominant a side as Australia have been at some of the World Cups. Every single box is ticked off.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have dominant openers? The openers are averaging what, 40, 50, but strike rate 100 plus.
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 are slower, but their strike rates are in the hundreds.
Yeah.
Then that freak comes in at 6.
Butler serve it up. He serves it up. If I could, I mean, I know we're just nitpicking. Is there maybe, you know how we're talking about X-factor bowlers, like a bowler you take to the bank? They're good bowlers, all of them, of course. It's a good bowling attack.
As Michael Vaughan said, the reason they're making 350s that the bowlers are conceding 340.
Yeah.
I think that is where, they didn't have a death bowler, did they, Zach? I mean, you look at that, there isn't a death bowler there. Tom Curran, maybe, thoda bahut. That's where Archer will make the difference.
I think what England has done nicely is after 2015 World Cup, they've decided what kind of brand England cricket team is going to play.
Yeah.
And all the planning has happened around that. So, so they've moved away from the names because after 2015 World Cup, they made some tough calls and they dropped big names at that stage. So that was their way of suggesting that, okay, we're not going to stick to the names. We're going to play the brand of cricket.
Yeah.
How we want to play, and they set the protocols around that, and that's very evident from the way England team has been playing ODI cricket.
Yeah.
You know, you look at different phases, and different players will be batting in those phases, but the approach in how the batsmen are carrying out those phases has remained the same.
And look how successful
So with the bowling as well, like, you know, they've set those parameters right in terms of this is how the team is going to play, this is the brand of cricket which English cricket team will be playing, and that's what has got them the success.
So the boom, you're talking about their batting and the boom and how their batting has been. Look at the top scores, right? The top scores recently. And out of the top 7 scores in ODI cricket, 5 have been by them. And look at those numbers. It's 481. It's 481, not against Papua New Guinea.
I'll tell you
or
what.
somebody who's been playing.
I remember that game well. Yeah. 481. I think in the last 5 or 6 overs, they scored very few. They were well on course to getting 500.
Yeah.
They're well on course to getting 500. At Nottingham, I mean, people like Alex Hales, all these guys play regularly. They score a lot of runs there. So, Zach is absolutely right. People have been given the freedom. They've been told this is how we are going to play. So, the only way to beat England is if you catch them on a slightly sticky deck, they'll keep playing at one pace. Yeah. And if you keep knocking up wickets, you take wickets as the only way. That's the only way to beat England. They bat down to 10.
Yep.
They've got a leg spinner. They've got an off spinner. They've got 6 bowlers. If day in, day out, they play 6 bowlers.
Yep.
So
they've got 2 wicket keepers.
Both in the top 6.
They've got 2 captains. They've got Morgan and Root. They've got 2 or 3 of everything.
Everything.
They've got 17 people in their 11.
And now they've got Jofra Archer. So they've got someone you can look at and say, were you impressed by him, IPL? I mean, you saw him much closer.
Yes, because his action is so simple, isn't it? Everything just goes towards the batsman. So he's hardly going to be a bowler who is going to bowl a lot of wayward deliveries. You know, so that's something he's always going to be at you. He's going to bowl wicket to wicket. He's got good variations, but the most important thing is he's got that Yorker, you know, which is at par. I think Bumrah, Jofra, and Rabada. I think these guys, the way they are bowling Yorkers is
and if he gets the right stock, might be at least.
On the coin, on the money that is. They're also the only team that's really touring England. I know it's their home and they like it, but they like it.
They're playing everywhere.
Because they're going to all 9 games are at a different venue.
So what it tells you is each of the venues will be flat, dry, excellent batting surfaces because that is the basis on which this England revival has been built. That we will make 350 plus. They made 300 plus 38 times, I think, and 350 plus they score for fun.
Yeah, they do.
All the tracks will be like that. I have only one doubt about England. Is that they're not like Australia. You tell Australia you're the favourites, they'll come out and say, we are favourites, you don't count, you out of my way. They love being favourites, they love being bullies, they love throwing their weight around. Will England be that way? Oh dear. So will England be happy playing front runners? Everyone expects England to win, right?
Yeah.
Everyone expects Australia to win, they'll say yes.
Yeah.
Everyone expects England to win, say, oh.
It's not polite to be pompous, you see.
Oh yeah.
It's not
so
polite.
That is my only thing about England.
Don't blow your own trumpet, old chap. But it could play, you're absolutely right, Zach, and it could play a part in any team, right? When you've not won a World Cup and suddenly you come into one after crashing out, the next one, your front runners, your favourites. That's unnerving for anyone. Add to that, you're playing at home, extra pressure. Add to that you're England. You don't like being
So add to that the format as well, and over 9 games, I think they'll be fine.
Yeah.
So the real question is going to be how they deal with the pressure of playing semi-finals, and if they win that semi-finals, finals. So that's something which is going to be the important thing to wait and watch. But for England, the most important day is going to be that semi-final.
Yeah. So
I think, till then,
you book them,
even
you
if
book
you are
them that
favorites,
ticket.
not favorites, you can manage, because when you look at that team, that team is very strong. And same with the Indian team as well. Till semi-finals, I don't see any hurdles.
Yeah.
Unless some 2-3 matches have been washed out, the points have been shared, and that might put pressure. But other than that, I think these two teams hope that they don't play against each other. Hope that it's going to be that
in
kind
the
of a
semis,
final when the two strongest
that'll
of
be
the
interesting.
two teams play the finals.
Happened in the 87 World Cup. That didn't end well for us. Right? Didn't end well for India.
What are you talking about? 87? What is that?
I don't know. I wasn't even born.
Look, there have only
in
been
87.
2 World Cups that have ever been played.
Sorry?
There have only been 2 World Cups that have ever been played.
83 and 2011.
Correct.
That's
What are
right.
you talking about 80s? Now, the one thing in England's favour is they've got a good captain.
Yeah.
They've got a genuinely good captain. I remember talking to Moeen Ali and Adil Rashid when we were in England last year. They're coming back and said, "Ye banda bada zabardast captain hai."
Yeah.
So I think they play around the captain. He won't let that complacence whatever come.
Yeah, it's nice. They've sort of it's just galvanized England cricket. But I like Harsha's point. The pom-pom, they don't tom-tom. We're going to use that
You
as...
prepared that line?
Yeah, I just did right now. It just came to me. I thought it was just too good not to share.
I was once told about the great John Arlott, by the way, that his best off-the-cuff lines were often the best rehearsed.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I'm going to do that now. Rehearse. The
Rehearse.
problem is I can't remember anything.
Rehearse and GK doesn't go together.
Yeah, rehearse and we can't go together. Sir, बहुत problem हो जाता है sir.
Or GK and rundowns also don't go.
Sir, बहुत problem हो जाता है sir. Too much problem, sir. Basically, what they're trying to say is me and the written word don't go well together. But if you draw me caricatures and cartoons and doodles, oh man, I'm on the ball. I don't miss a beat. Let's talk about Australia. They missed a few beats in the last, in 12 months. Till about 4 months ago. And then, of course, it just started turning around. And Zach, what a turnaround it's been, huh? I'm not asking you, you're wearing their colors, so I'm going to ask Zach.
No, this is Haldi. I'm wearing the spirit of
Are
India.
these Sunrisers colours?
Yeah.
Haldi.
Sir, turmeric has become very popular all over the world now. Huh?
Turmeric cloth hai.
Yeah, turmeric
But
latte.
my grandmother used to put haldi.
Haldi doodh. It's haldi doodh. If you're listening in America, tell people. A turmeric latte is haldi doodh. We have at home for free. Don't pay $5 for it. All right, so talking about Australia, of course. Australia, what they've... if you would have asked them in January that, hey, the World Cup's in June, they would have said, can we have it later? But if you ask them now, are these the 4 months you want leading up to the World Cup? They'd be, whoa, yes, we do.
Well, lead up to the World Cup also, you always knew that there are certain players who are going to be back for the World Cup.
Yeah.
You knew that they've been resting their bowlers so that they are available for the test matches as well. Like the Stark is back. If some injury issues which had to be looked after, they made sure that their best possible squad is available for the World Cup. So that's something which has been part of planning as far as Australian team is concerned. And I'm just concerned about how Aaron Finch is going to deal with the pressure of World Cup as well.
Yeah.
That's something which if Steve Smith was captain, you would have said that, okay, this team, he's got that feel of the game. He knows how the game moves, and he's a very proactive captain.
Yeah.
With Finch, that side is missing. So whether his equation with Smith is to that level where he can play a huge role, like how we are talking about MS Dhoni also playing a huge role with the Indian team. I think if that kind of understanding is there with Finch, then Australia will be able to create the kind of impact which we are looking at. Other than that, when you look at the team, they've got all the goods to have. They have enough in them to go through top 4.
Yeah, Harsha, if you look at that, it's almost like this team. I mean, Aaron Finch, obviously, yes, he had a very tough period where he was captaining.
He couldn't score a run.
And he couldn't score a run himself.
He went to the shop and they said, sorry, sold out.
Sorry, we're all done.
Gone.
Come back another day. We're closed. But it's almost like everybody else picked their game up when you knew it was not. It was before Warner and Smith were coming. It was almost like, oh no, they're going to be here. Our spot's going to go. Everybody just sort of upped their game about 2 months before they were coming back.
Suddenly Khwaja scoring runs.
Yeah.
Khwaja's a player of character, I think. When there's nobody around, Khwaja rises up.
I enjoy watching him bat. I really
Khwaja's
do.
a good player. pilot, by the way, proper qualified pilot.
Oh, really?
Proper qualified pilot. Turned up to the Australian camp once wearing those shoulder things and whatever. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No wonder I like him.
If he was in India, I got a job with 3 different airlines, 2 of which were going to shut down. But that's
brutal.
Okay, sorry, didn't hear that. Cut, edit. So Khwaja's, it's a settled team now. You're right. Yeah. They knew these two are coming back. Suddenly Finch can't score a run. He's got 200, 350s. Khwaja's got 200s. They're both averaging 60 plus. And with Smith and Warner coming back, I think it takes a lot of pressure off Maxwell and Stoinis.
Yeah.
Maxwell is the kind of guy, just leave him alone, right?
Yeah.
We are playing, as I've often told people, you're playing with 10 players. You do whatever you want.
He's your trump card, right? Some days.
My only concern for them is they've got Stoinis at 6, Carey at 7, and then their fast bowlers.
Yeah.
So, and the only reserve batsman is Sean Marsh. So if something happens to Stoinis or Maxwell, then they go in with only 5 bowlers. They lose the luxury of playing a 6th bowler.
Yeah, I think the only one really who's the bowler who's most competitive. Let's pull this squad up again and we'll see it. The bowler who's actually most competitive with the bat is Nathan Coulter-Nile.
Yeah, so is
Pat Cummins as well.
Pat Cummins is. You'd still bat. I think Nathan would bat 1 spot above.
Could be. If it was a test match, no question, Cummins would bat above.
But is it Kane Richardson or Jai Richardson?
Jai got injured. So that
Jai got injured, so Kane's in now.
They said that we can't replace the name because all the lettering is already there. So
they had already made a shirt which said Richardson. So let's just get another guy. The room, the dinner plates, everything was already Richardson. So they just...
They've used a similar kind of thought process as England going for Plunkett, isn't it?
Yes.
So to play a role of those middle overs, to fill in that gap. I think Kane Richardson is someone who's been good in bowling those middle overs. So that has been the thought process. But apart from that, you're right. You have the bowling lineup figured out.
Yep.
Maybe Josh Hazelwood was someone who was among in the reckoning for the World Cup. Yeah. But they've chosen wisely. I think if you look at the bowling attack of Australia, you have Stark making that impact. You have Pat Cummins making that impact with the new ball, and that's why possibly Josh Hazelwood. In the middle overs is not going to be that effective.
I think they also said that he hadn't played enough cricket.
And
Stark has not played enough
Stark
cricket.
I was going to...
They don't want too many...
Zach would actually answer that question best, right?
If Stark is in form, you saw what he did in the 2015 World Cup. Stark is in form, suddenly the side changes. But he's hardly played any one-day cricket. Is that a concern? In fact, he's hardly played any cricket recently.
It's about how he's gone about his preparation, So yes, it is a concern that he's not played that many matches, but you can replicate that, So at times, but on the other side, you'll be fresh, So if he has done all the work in terms of making sure the rhythm is there, it's just a matter of time that maybe a couple of games, because he's played enough cricket. He's not someone who is very new to international cricket, and someone who has been playing test matches regularly as well. So for someone with that kind of experience, you can actually prepare for a big tournament without, being short on match practice as well.
Yeah, Australia, of course, are going in on the back of a lot of consecutive wins. Remember, they won against India, then they won against Pakistan.
They won the last 8, I think.
They won the last 8. They won 8 in a row now, leading into the World Cup. And the thing is, they did defeat Pakistan. And of course, England also got the better of Pakistan. But don't ever rule out Pakistan in a World Cup. Don't rule them out in any international tournament, because actually them losing leading up to a tournament is almost like becomes a decoy, right? You end up taking them lightly and then they win the Champions League 2017, right? So that's what they end up doing. And that's it, Zach. Take Pakistan lightly at your own peril, right?
They've done one thing right. They've played a series in England. Yeah. So they are well accustomed to the conditions, which they'll be playing in. The second thing which they've done well is scoring those 300 plus scores.
Yeah.
So every time you talk about Pakistan team, you say that if they get runs, they'll be able to trouble any team.
Yeah.
So that's one box they've ticked. It doesn't matter what kind of conditions they are playing on or how the wicket was playing. The fact that the batsmen have got that confidence, if they carry that confidence in the World Cup, they have the bowling attack to win matches, because that traditionally how Pakistan has been winning the games of cricket is by putting runs on board and then having that formula of going
they can't chase. They can't chase.
blasting
Like
the batting lineups with because the conditions doesn't really matter that much, especially for their bowling side. Even in good batting conditions, they can make use of the reverse swing and get something going, which was seen in the warm-up game as well. So
340, the 300 plus I talked about is crucial because going into these last few games, their top three, which is Imam, Fakhar, Babar Azam, then you have Hafiz, you have Shoaib Malik, none of them had a strike rate of 100. They were all about late 70s, early 80s, maybe nudging 90. And we said, where are the 330, 340 going to come from? Yeah. So these 4 games, even though they lost, from a batting point of view, were very important for them.
Were important. Let's just look at their squad again. You see, first thing, sir, you have to clear for us, Shaheen Afridi, Shaheen Shah or Shehen Shah?
I think Shaheen Shah. Shaheen is the leader, right? I think it's Shaheen Shah.
Shaheen Shah.
Shaheen Shah to
I was just thinking, it would be great. I mean, he's a baby, of course.
Shaheen Shah to hai, wo Bruce Oxenford hai, haath leke aata hai.
He's correct. Yeah, Bruce Oxenford gets the Shaheen Shah and comes. And of course, Afridi is, what is he? He's 18, like all Afridis are, right? They stop at 18.
He came out with a book where he said, actually, I'm not that age. Actually, I'm this age. Yeah. But when I played that tournament, I was that age, and the two didn't add up.
No,
no one still knows what age.
I tried to decode it, by the way. Yeah. We send it to ISRO, we send it to NASA. Nobody still knows how old Shahid Afridi is.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
We're not playing an under-19 World Cup.
He was entertaining when he was there, so that's what matters. Babar Azam, let's talk about
back. Sorry. They've gone back, since you were talking about the bowling, they've gone back to Amir.
Yeah.
Muhammad, in India, we always rate Pakistan higher than the rest of the world does because they've done well against India in the past. So Amir has taken 5 wickets since the Champions Trophy at an average of 90.
Yeah.
Wahab Riaz had one spell in 2015.
To Shane Watson, right? That was when he made Shane Watson dance.
They're saying they brought him back. They're saying brought him back because of reverse swing.
Yeah.
I don't know how much reverse swing you'll get with 2 wide. Well, you'll get a little bit, but I don't know how important that will be. But there's been a bit of panic. They suddenly dropped 2 bowlers, brought these 2 back in. I still think their key will be the leggy, that Shadab is going well. For the first time, I think their batting is stronger than their bowling.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting, right? Because, Zach, with Pakistan, it was always, oh, yaar, unke bowler se bach lo. Just save yourself from their bowlers, right? Get some runs on the board.
No, the Imad Wasim, Shadab Khan, they're all bat.
Yeah. So that's what makes them a more competitive force. This time, there's just a little more balance. You've got the bowlers who can do the job, and more importantly, the batsmen who can chase in what will be a high-scoring World Cup.
I know the Imam Ulaq, right?
Yeah,
the opener Imam Ulaq and Fakhar Zaman. But Babar Azam is someone who's going to hold the key as far as batting is concerned. He's looking like a good player. He's got runs also in England, leading up to the World Cup, and he's someone who is going to be a player to watch for as far as Pakistan team is concerned this World Cup.
Interesting. South Africa, we're just going to make a pledge here right now, right? It's very important. It's on a humanitarian level. I reach out to all of you. When you're talking about South Africa, let's not use the word choke. Let's not. It's just disrespectful. Let's just not do it. It's okay. They haven't won, right? They know the problems they have. We know the problems they have. We'll discuss the problems, but we shall pledge never to use the word choke. Is that fine? So don't do it. Okay, you can do the action. Once. I'll let you do it once. That's it. Is it out of your system? It's done.
No, I want to ask you, what are you going to replace that word with?
I'll just replace it with more words. Inconsistent on the big stage.
Can I just use South Africa for that?
Listen, brutal. Brother brutal.
With South Africa, Zach, thoda.
Of course. Can't expect him to be that kind, right? He's not going to get any empathy out of that.
But you can, isn't it? I mean, that's what the record shows. That they've been very consistent with
the inconsistency.
Inconsistency, as you put it rightly.
Fair enough. That's what they've done. You see it. I think it just when it begins. Sorry,
it's almost been cursed,
hasn't it?
Look at that. That rain rule was a shocker.
Yeah,
that rain rule was an absolute shocker. So thank God we got rid of that. Straight away. 96, they're excellent, and all of a sudden, Mr. Lara wakes up and says, "I feel like a bat today."
Yeah,
and that's it. Goodbye, South Africa. Right? That was 96.
Correct.
Then 99 tie, they went out because they'd lost the previous game to Australia when Donald and Klusener froze.
Correct.
2003, they forgot the Duckworth-Lewis rule.
There you go.
So something keeps happening to them. And then 2015, they got a South African to bat against them to beat them.
Yeah.
which is Grant Elliott. Grant Elliott, hardcore South African player, speaks with South African accents. It's almost cursed. This time it's critical because I don't think they'll get a better chance.
Yeah.
Amla's last, Faf du Plessis last, Dumini's last, Tahir's last, Staines last. And the talent that's coming through is not anywhere near as good as these people. I know Markram is decent. Quinton de Kock's, with Zach is next week, Quinton de Kock's outstanding wicketkeeper batsman. Rabada and Giri, they're getting some talent coming through, but that fabled South African team, I think this is their last chance.
No, I hope they have better feng shui this year because obviously they've had really cursed luck. Let's look at their squad again. Zach, you can speak about the bowling, the batting. Of course, Rabada we don't need to speak about, and Dale Steyn, apparently now we've got news that Dale Steyn will not be there, right, for the World Cup?
Just for the first
update?
match, I think. Few matches.
For the first couple of games?
For how many games?
They said he might be
First two.
First two. They said he might be ready for the
India
India game.
is their third game, so he'll be back against India.
So Ngidi coming back from injury.
He's a big,
Yeah, so he's also very good bowler.
Let's go back to the team.
South Africa always had a good team. You know, that's something which you'll always see. You know, even in '99, they had possibly the best South African team was around that time.
'99 was an awesome team.
So they'll always put up a fight. So they'll always be favorites, but something or the other keeps happening. So from South Africa's point of view also, like, you know, that there are so many senior players who are actually may not be playing the next World Cup.
Yeah.
So that is something which is going in their favor. You know, that experience is there, and in these kind of tournaments, you need that. You know, add AB to this lineup. Imagine how this lineup would have been. But nonetheless, we'll have to wait and see how they start the tournament. You know, because if they're managing, like with South Africa, one thing is for sure: either they'll be qualified through to the next round by 6 games, or pressure is going to get to them. Something is going to happen, and they may not go through that next phase. So that's something which has always been the case with them, because the pressure plays a huge role when you get to the back end of a tournament, especially the big tournaments. And South Africa with the factor which you were mentioning earlier in the.
What we just said is bad luck. That's what we've said. We've established it. It's just been cursed luck almost. But talking about pressure, well, it can't get more pressure than playing the opening game against the hosts, and those hosts being England, who are one of the front runners of the tournament. So it's a big first step. Now, if they can win this game tomorrow, right? Unlikely, you'd call England favourites, but if they can win this game tomorrow, South Africa.
2 things will happen. Their confidence will be sky high, and I will read every single English newspaper the next morning.
Because they'll bury the England team, won't they? They need one game.
It'll be hilarious, because suddenly, we draw a lot of our media from English roots. Suddenly they'll be talking about whether we are favourites at all, whether we can do it or no, but I think England will beat South Africa in that first game.
Yeah, just 2-1. It's just 2-1 is required. Let's not give people too much leeway, right? Don't worry, we are here to give people leeway, because after all, it's a human endeavour, right? Human errors, human excellence, they all go hand in hand.
But Zach is right about Ngidi. Ngidi is a very good player, but he's injury prone. Suddenly in between, the Steyn is injured, Ngidi gets something happens to Ngidi.
I hope Rabada's fine.
But Rabada's been carrying that side for 2 years almost now. So how much will Rabada do? Tahir is there, but he's there. It's over.
Faf is there, Miller is there, Quinton de Kock. So they have a good balance in terms of putting up a fight. We'll just have to wait and see that how they start the tournament. That's something which is going to be the key.
All right, we've still got a few teams to discuss. Let's go to New Zealand next. Let's pick them up. Runners up. From 2015. Of course, Australia won that tournament, and then New Zealand. You know, people don't, I feel like, I've been a fan of New Zealand from that 92 Martin Crowe side, right? That was a tournament that everybody remembers. They remember his captaincy, how New Zealand did that time. You like them, they're there. Somehow, do you feel that it could work in their advantage that not too many people are talking about them as front runners?
But very few people talk about them anyway. New Zealand always give you more than you think they're giving. The whole is always greater than the sum of the parts with New Zealand. They always offer you much more than you think. And so you take them a little lightly. The reason they don't win is on the big day, they don't have someone who'll say, right, you know what, I'm a Kohli, I'm a De Villiers, come on, I'm going to win it. I'm a Viv Richards, you know, those kind of players. But they just play for each other. They're a very strong side. They've got a bit of this and a bit of that, and everyone gels well together. They've always been well led. I think Williamson's is a really good captain. In these conditions, Guptill, Munro, Taylor, they'll all become better batsmen.
Yeah.
Taylor's been fantastic for them over the years. If it gets a little dry, they've got the all-rounder in Santner.
Yep.
Santner, Sodhi. So they've got a decent side. I don't think it's the most powerful bowling side in the world.
I mean, look at those. Look at the options that Kane gets with his
Saudi,
all-rounders.
Ferguson and Trent Bolt.
Yeah.
So they have the variety. Like,
that's all three are 145 plus.
Yeah.
They give you 145 pretty consistently. You're getting that. You're getting your all-rounders. The batting. This is a strong side. Look at it. And I'm going. Listen, man. There's a few X factors there who are well led.
Tom Latham is injured. He might miss a game or two.
Yeah.
But its replacement is Tom Blundell, who scored 100 in the warm-up game.
Yep.
So and he's a batsman. So as you said, there's enough options. I don't know how they'll play the middle with sort of 6, 7, 8. They've got Neesham, the Grandhomme, Santner. I don't know if they can play all three, because they play all three, then they've got one too many part-time bowlers in there.
Yeah.
So once they figure out how they want to go 6, 7, 8, because Southee can bat at 8 too. So that's the only thing they need to figure out.
It's quite interesting because Brendan McCullum, of course, that was the Brendan McCullum era of captaincy, which took New Zealand cricket to the to the finals rather as runners-up in 2015, and now it almost went rather seamlessly, Zach, from the McCullum to the Williamson era, didn't it?
Yeah. I think the players also, if you look at it, Stephen Fleming really set the platform.
Yeah.
So New Zealand team always knew how to make use of the resources which are available to them.
Yeah.
The brand of cricket, what they've been playing, they have a good feel of the game. That has stayed constant. What they were lacking was that killer instinct and that positivity and really creating that culture of winning.
Yeah.
So they would come, they would play the game of cricket and play it in such a way, where they've given their best, and if that best was not good enough, they would just go back and forget about it. I think that is something which has changed since Brandon McCullum era had arrived. So what he really brought to that side was that belief that we are going to be winning matches, and we are playing to win games of cricket.
Yeah.
So that's something which Brandon McCullum got to that side, and that progression has made it easier because of the players also, which are available right now. Like Kane Williamson is by far put in the top 4 players in the world. In terms of batting, they've got these bowlers as well, like Trent Bolt, Southee. If you look at their records as well, that the record speaks for themselves. So that's something which has been a change in this New Zealand side. They've always had these utility players, who kind of make that backbone of the team. Those utility players have always been there with the New Zealand side. So it will be interesting to see how this team now goes in the World Cup. The series which they played against India was actually a bit disappointing because we had great expectations on that.
Yeah, true.
Home conditions, the side is
4-1,
looking
right?
good.
Was it
Yeah,
4-1, I think?
maybe because of that series right now, we are not thinking of New Zealand as a force to reckon with in this World Cup so far. But give them few matches and you'll say that, okay, this team possibly will be one of the main contenders.
You're talking about a few matches. Well, if you had to choose your first 3 games, these are the 3 games you'd choose, wouldn't you?
Sri Lanka, I mean, it would be like in a 5,000 meter race, someone started off with the sprint.
Yeah.
They'll pick up points straight away. They should pick up points. They shouldn't be dropping any points over there. And then suddenly India, South Africa. But look what happens if they are in trouble towards the end and need to win all their games.
Yeah.
Suddenly they're playing Pakistan, Australia, England. England at the end. But we saw this in the World T20 in 2016 as well. We're sitting and saying, who do you think will go through whatever? And quietly New Zealand said, right, we are first in, man. Okay,
Yeah.
So it'll be great fun if New Zealand just start to get on a streak, because then that middle, the South Africas, the Pakistan, maybe if India lose a couple of games, there'll be a bit of a muddle and every game will then become very interesting.
Don't rule out West Indies, right? I mean, don't rule out West Indies in this. I mean, thankfully they're there. Right?
They almost won. Won the Champions Trophy. Yeah.
They almost won, but they're there, and now they're there, and suddenly look at what the team is. You've got a Chris Gayle who's come into the team after winning Man of the Series against England in West Indies.
He's just amazing. He says, everybody's scared of me, they won't tell you, but wake them up in the middle of the night, they'll tell you they're scared of me.
I mean, look at there's
Zach. This format is so good for Chris Gayle, right? Because Gayle likes those 15, 20 balls.
Yeah.
Which in T20 sometimes puts pressure on him.
Yeah.
Here he's got that. And if him and Evan Lewis give you starts, there's just a whole line of hitters after that.
Exactly. You're looking at that batting and you're going, as a bowling unit, Zach, you'd probably look at it and go, hang on, we get this guy out, we have to save ourselves from this guy, then there's this guy, then there's this guy, then there's this guy, then there's this guy.
Surely the team to be wary of this World Cup.
Yeah.
You know, they're definitely the underdogs which everyone keeps talking about. Like, you know, that one team in the World Cup is
We
always
don't want
there.
to play,
Yeah.
Because they can do anything. If it's their day, there's nothing is
because you
beyond
have Chris Gayle, you have Russell, and you look at Evan Lewis, Shea Hope. You know, these are all good players.
Maya might suddenly, now he's not playing for RCB, might score runs.
And you're talking about England as one of the tough teams in the World Cup.
Yeah.
You look at the last series which they played overseas was West Indies.
Correct. 2-2.
Yeah.
2-2, yeah.
So and it was 2-2 and England won the series in the decider. So that shows that
No, it was 2-2. It was level and the one was rained out, I think.
One was rained out, 2-2.
One was rained out, it finished at 2-2.
I think England won
so
the
series. So the T20 series was won by England. The ODI series was 2-all. And there was one was rained out. And Chris Gayle got the man of the series where he got it and he said, 39, man of the series. Hey, youngsters, what are you guys doing?
He scored 150 as well.
There you go. That was Chris Gayle against
I don't know if it was
England.
the game in Grenada or whether, I think it might have been the game in Grenada where they almost ran out of cricket balls. Because I think they had to change 15 or 20. They just kept, or might have been Barbados actually. Might have been Barbados.
all of them are swimming. They're all swimming towards Florida right now.
Yeah. Message in a bottle kind of thing. So he was just hitting them out.
Well, there'll be enough balls to spare when India goes to play West Indies in Florida for the T20s.
With all those hitters come watch the shore.
Gayle was just being nice and sending the balls to Florida before.
No, but see, if Gayle gets off to a
with a
good
conspiracy theory, man. We really have. It's a conspiracy theory. You heard it here first on Cricbuzz. Sorry.
No, if Gayle gets off to a good start,
Yeah.
they've got players like Shea Hope, Darren Bravo, Hetmaru, really good players who will keep it going.
Yeah.
Now, you saw what happened the other day. Jason Holder was hammered at the end. Andre Russell had 54 of 25. It's a slow T20 innings by his standards.
Yeah.
So they've got these people. Suppose they keep wickets and you say 120 of the last 10, you're still worried.
Yeah, you are. And
Then that nurse comes and swings his bat around at the end.
yeah.
So
No,
he's absolutely right.
When nurse swings his bat, doctors are required in the spectator stand.
People are saying, "Yaar, ye kahan qayamat aa gayi hai?"
So maybe they're just lacking in the spin department.
Yeah, so let's pull the team up again. Let's look at that. You've got some raw pace there, right? You've got some when you see it there. But yes, probably
the spin average is 50 plus.
Yeah.
The spin average is 50 plus. Economy rate is
Fabian Allen.
And Ashley Nurse. Finger spinners, they don't have wrist spinners because the batsmen are not allowed to play against wrist spin.
Correct. So they're not encouraged in the Caribbean.
But you talked about O'Shane Thomas, Sheldon Cottrell, Kemar Roach, Shannon Gabriel, all, as Robbie says, serious wheels.
Serious wheels. The salute is Sheldon Cottrell, right?
Sheldon Cottrell.
Right?
Sheldon Cottrell. O'Shane Thomas, just baby face, just comes in and bowls fast.
Man, and from a height, huh?
Yeah, he's fast.
The first pick is Kemar Roach, though.
Kemar Roach.
So Kemar Roach is going to be the first pick. Second, possibly between O'Shane Thomas and Cottrell.
Because they'll play Holder and Russell, so they've got four seamers.
So Holder will take the new ball, and then Russell will be the support in the middle overs.
Talk about Holder's captaincy. He's been a big component of the revival, so to speak, of
West given him the white ball captaincy on a regular basis as well. When everyone was making fun of the West Indies, he was hanging in there. And now you can see the green shoots in this West Indies, and he's been the gardener almost. He's been watering the West Indies side. So it's good to see him there. He can bat at 6 here, by the way. He can bat at 6. So suppose they're losing some wickets early, he'll go 6. Otherwise, Russell will go 6. And he can play the big shots too. He's a wonderful player there because he can also give you 10 overs on his day.
Yeah, long levers as well, right? What is he?
But he's right,
spin.
spin. Yeah.
Six,
he's
7?
6 plenty.
6 plenty. Can we just safely say he's 6
So
plenty?
O'Shane Thomas is 6 plenty.
He's almost 7 and something. O'Shane Thomas, by the time he releases the ball, he's releasing it from the first floor. It's quite easy. It's like that like the Pakistani bowler, right? Who is Mohammad Irfan?
There's this great video of him on a boat and he just catches a seagull like that.
There was Mohammad Irfan bowling to Gautam Gambhir once, and I tweeted out saying it's not fair. Bowler is on first floor and batsman is on ground floor. That's not fair. That's really not done.
सोचो MP साहब हैं.
Sir, MP साहब हमारे दोस्त हैं sir. हमारे दोस्त भी
अब सबके दोस्त बन गए.
Sir, he has always been my friend. My friend is politician, sir. My only politician friend is Gautam Gambhir. Let me say that. We have a look at West Indies schedule. Let's see who they are playing. It's kind of up and down for them. It's quite interesting because they hit up on the second day of the tournament against Pakistan.
If they lose Pakistan, they're suddenly 0. They could be 0-4 down, if they lose Pakistan.
But that's the thing with West Indies. Now, West Indies, it's good for West Indies to have these sort of tough games up front because if they win them, cat is amongst the pigeons, as they say, sir.
Completely. It's not only purring, have you heard the cattle growl?
The cattle growl.
Yeah.
And but the first two venues, wicket is going to be like 300 plus wicket.
Are West Indies happy playing a 350 plus kind of game? Might be actually. West Indies wouldn't mind.
Be. Yeah.
Flat deck, their batsmen go score runs. They've got the pace. They wouldn't mind.
Batting first, yes, I'd back them. I don't know about. I don't know.
क्या पता लगते जाते और हैदराबाद में ऐसी बोलते एक मारा दूसरा मारा मारते जा रहे बन गया राना.
Bangladesh, we had a lot of Banya Rana against them in the practice game yesterday, did India. Let's have a look at the Bangladesh squad. Let's have a look at them real quick and get you gentlemen to speak about that. Of course, Ashraf Murtaza, they're the captain.
Lots of experience. Tamim Iqbal experience. Mushfiqur Rahim, who sometimes celebrates before the match is over, but he's a good player. Then Mashrafi Murtaza is a good captain. I think the big strength with that is they've got a good captain. Mashrafi Murtaza handles all those emotions around that side. It's very emotional side. Shakib is a better player for Bangladesh than he is in franchise cricket. Mustafizur has come back. They've got a seam bowling all-rounder in that Saifuddin. There's a lot of experience with Mahmudullah. It's a decent side. I don't know if they have that. If they have that one guy who'll say, right, I'm the big player. Every team has that one player. I don't know if they have that one player.
Yeah, Murtaza did say in the press conference, I think, that there's a lot of players who carry niggles, and that's something that would make Bangladesh fans very
But I thought he carries enough niggles for everybody.
Yeah, just give me your niggles. Let me lead you.
He maintains the average of those niggles in the team for sure.
The majority component is
with Bangladesh, but their success is always going to be dependent on batting.
Yeah.
That's. I mean, Murtaza will be handling the resources well and managing the field when they're bowling, but the matches will be won by their batting team. So
will he be managing the field, or will he get Dhoni to manage the field for him like he did yesterday?
That was unbelievable.
It is.
I didn't see that. I missed it.
Why would they put him there?
While batting, MS Dhoni has done that to I don't know which fielder it was. I can't remember.
But was he there in the previous over, and he was just reminding him that okay, you're supposed to be square leg and not mid-wicket?
I just know I didn't ask any of these questions because I laughed so hard. It is by far one of the most unusual things I've seen in 3 decades of watching cricket.
The field against himself or the opposition.
Yeah, he's just telling.
What would be the funnier was?
Galat khada hai tu. Don't stand there. You stand there.
What would have been funnier was, because they did do that. When he said move from there to there, they actually moved the fielder there, and if a ball had lobbed there, that would have been even funnier. But there's one thing about that Bangladesh side. When they win with their slow bowlers on their spongy decks.
Yeah.
The Bangladesh pitches are like that traffic. They just don't move. Yeah. The ball hits the deck and stays there. So suddenly they've got not just Shakib and Mahmudullah, Musaddiq, Mehdi Hassan. They can bowl 50 overs of spin there.
Yeah.
Now here they won't get that. So their away record is so vastly different from their home record.
Correct.
And their spinners are excellent at home and completely ineffective overseas. So their pace bowlers and their batsmen will have to win them the game is right.
And they've got a tough schedule because they're playing 3 games in the first week. That's hard. Like India doesn't play their first game till the end of the first week. And these guys are going boom, 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 2nd, 5th, 8th. There's 3 games, 2 of course in London, 1 in Cardiff, which is barely 2 hours away. So that's
from 24th June to 2nd July, they can come back home.
Yeah, actually they can. Yeah. There's an 8-9 day break over there. So you're seeing, right? I mean, that can be hard up front. Or Zach, can it just be, all right, fine, man, we're just in the flow. Let's just get 3 games out of the way real quick. And if you can get 2 wins, looks tough.
Well, we're talking about Bangladesh, so I think they'll make use of the time in between.
Make use of the time in between. Okay.
Well, but I mean,
I'm going to go further into that.
It's important that you create that impact on the tournament. I mean, you look at it differently. So for Bangladesh, the disappointing thing, I mean, when I look at this Bangladesh side, there's enough potential. There has been a lot of potential even in the past years as well. But you look at since when they've got the test status. You're talking about what, almost 19 years now, 19, 20 years. And in 19, 20 years, if you look at their journey, yes, they the team has come a long way, but the kind of progress which they've had, it's been on the slower side. 20 years is a long time. You look at Afghanistan right now, possibly, I'm not sure in terms of number of years, but you can see that their progress has been remarkable. Right now we are looking at Afghanistan side and saying that, okay, if these three spinners are there in the side, if they put up, say, 250, 270 runs on board, which is a concern, but if they manage to do that side, they can trouble any opponent.
Let's look at the Afghanistan team. While you're talking about that, let's look at the Afghanistan
even
team.
If we are talking about English conditions, they can have that kind of fear in teams which they're playing against. So that is something which has not been seen with Bangladesh. They've not been consistent. We've seen Afghanistan recently have been very consistent with their performances. Yes, the slow and turning conditions work in their favor. They become more threatening. But even if the conditions are not in their favor that much, I think this team still can create some kind of upset in the World Cup.
The good thing with this side is that the batting is picking up. Sometimes you'll see teams that come through with one strength, and then the other's not good enough. The batting is picking up. That young opener is something else. That Hazratullah Zazai. He's something else. He just goes for it. Doesn't matter who's bowling at him. And at the other end, of course, is their own MS.
Correct.
He should never leave the game. Shehzad is one of the great entertainers of the game. So Shehzad and Zazai, they've got two guys firing at either ends. But then they've got Rahmat Shah, they've got Hashmatullah Shahidi, they've got Asghar. Where's Asghar? Why did he change his name? Asghar Stanik Zai.
Stanik Zai is better than
Asghar Afghan.
But sir, how shook will they be from this entire sort of regime change that has happened? In the board, in the team.
They're settled captain. I don't know why they went and changed. I was speaking to Rashid and the others. In fact, Rashid, Nabi and the others actually wrote to the board saying, we don't want this change. Gulbuddin Naib says, but actually Asghar is my captain.
So I like how the team has taken that initiative to make sure that the unrest that has been caused from external elements on them, they're trying to smoothen that on the inside. But Zach, the players should not be doing that, right?
But they, even though the choice has been the wrong choice, maybe the thought has been a good thought. When I saw them in Asia Cup, I felt that they had to move away from Asghar Afghan being captain. The team needed that new direction because they've been playing well consistently. And possibly I felt that Nabi is someone who can take the team to that next level which we are looking at. So that is something which I observed. But now looking at the new captain making that decision that as a team they're always going to stay together. That is the message which they wanted to say, and that statement also suggestive of that fact that the board might have announced me as a captain. I'm going to follow the instructions which have come to me, but I know that we're going to stick together as this team, the squad which we're talking about, the dressing room, and that's what matters. How many times you've heard the stories that the dressing room, what happens in the dressing room, and how each and every individual in the dressing room looks at you.
We haven't heard because you don't tell us.
If you don't ask. But I think that's why it's important that when how your teammates look at you, how they respect you, is the suggestive of the fact that how well you are together as a unit, and the statement by the present captain suggests that the team is still together, and they are going to fight that battle, but fight that battle some other day.
But best names in the world.
Sorry?
Best names.
Best, hardest names in the world.
Gulbuddin.
Gulbuddin is amazing.
Gulbuddin.
No, you're going to start singing a song from the 50s. I know you.
It's actually not Gulbuddin, that was Gulbuddin, but this is a song from 70s,
Oh, just now then.
अभी कल की हमारे हैदराबाद में इसको परसों बोलते हैं, अब भी परसों की बात है.
You're talking about changes.
Gulbuddin, क्या नाम है यार.
So when we show the next team, will you just sing that in the, I guess, as the covering soundtrack? Because we're talking about changes that are happening. I think I lost track of the changes that have happened in Sri Lankan cricket in the last.
You're not the only one.
I think they've lost track themselves.
Like we were there 17, we saw the team and suddenly there's someone else playing.
It's like that. Remember that old ad that was "Pure ghar ke badal dalunga," right? It's really one of those "pure ghar ke."
Pure 80s jingles also I know.
Well, there you go. I'm just trying to pull it back from the 70s to the 80s. Tomorrow I may just attempt the 90s as well with Mr. Bhogle. Slowly get him.
Try hip hop, straight hip hop.
Straight to hip hop. Just drop some tunes. All right, Sri Lanka, let's say who they have dropped into the World Cup. There you go. You've got Dimuth Karunaratne, who is the captain. Now, a lot of people are confused in saying who he is. When he last played one-day game for Sri Lanka?
He played one-day game after the 2015 World Cup.
Oh, he did play one. I thought he only played I thought he was their World Cup to World Cup captain.
No, Dimuth Karunaratne played one game, I think.
Yeah.
He's a very good test match opening batsman.
Yeah.
But I think they just decided, sorry, we're going to have Dimuth Karunaratne as the captain because they've had 7 captains in the last 4 years.
Yeah. Yes, they have. They've done a bit of what sort of India did sometime in the late 80s, what Pakistan always did with their captaincy before.
But they've had so many captains.
Yeah.
So they finally said, let's pick a captain and then doesn't matter if he doesn't make the side. In all this turmoil, they've had 57 players used since the 2015 World Cup.
Wow.
28 debuts since the 2015 World Cup, and he wasn't among those 57. And they made him captain. So maybe they've just decided that we want a captain, we'll make him the captain.
Do you think it was chosen by the complex methodology of darts on a board?
It was the complex methodology of not knowing who's going to be selecting the team tomorrow, so let me select it today.
Just real quick.
Because in Sri Lanka, the only thing that changes faster than the players is the people selecting the players.
Yeah.
And I feel sorry to say this. I mean, there's such a cricket-loving country.
Of course, I mean, they won the World Cup. I mean, they've done better than England.
No, I was just checking the numbers the other day. Look, from 2007 to 2014, they made 5 of the 7 finals, won the 2014 World T20. And after that, they've got the lowest win-loss record. Or maybe close to West Indies. Really low win-loss records.
Yeah. Look at their schedule and see, and obviously cricket fans would be hoping, not just Sri Lanka fans, cricket fans would be hoping that Sri Lanka can come back because it's really not nice when you see a team which has had a great run for 16, 17 years and they just get derailed and how? So the biggest stage in the world, Zach, could that be enough motivation for them, new captain?
Looking at the format, it's going to be difficult. You know, because you have 9 games to play irrespective of what happens.
Yeah.
And for you to make an impact and go to the next round, that means you have to win at least 5 games. 6 games.
6 games you need to win.
With this side and looking at what has been happening last couple of years, doesn't look like it's going to happen. I mean, if it happens, it's going to be the story of the World Cup. You know, so everyone will be talking about Sri Lanka's revival in the World Cup because so far leading up to the World Cup, there are a lot of things which have happened which doesn't really give us confidence to say that this team will have that kind of a dent in the World Cup.
Okay, let's talk about the first game tomorrow now. We've discussed all the teams. Let's talk about the first game that's happening tomorrow. The opening game of the World Cup is hosts England are playing against South Africa. So that's happening tomorrow in London. This is Lord's, right? First game?
The Oval.
Oval?
The Oval.
Oval.
Okay.
Sir, Punjabi.
Oh, Punjabi.
Oval. Lords and Oval. Tomorrow is happening at Oval. So in case you are in England and you are at the Oval, then, just like send us a picture and make us feel bad. But of course, if you're not there, you can play My 11 Circle. How do you do that? Well, you download the app. So my11circle.com. Go there, download the app. That's the first thing that you need to do. So please do it. Compete. You create your own team. Select the game. We have the game tomorrow, of course. And the best part, you get to play against Dada. If you can
That's
beat
what I was going to
Dada.
ask, Zach. Beat Dada and win 5 times. I thought it said win 5 times more than Dada. Is it possible to win more money than Dada?
Nah, that's tough.
Not possible.
That's not possible. Dada's a prince. You can never have more money than the prince.
Dada ka wada.
Dada ka wada.
Mujhse zyada nahi jeetoge.
That's right. But, of course, the joy of beating one of the most successful Indian captains, I tell you, money, of course, is always there. But that comes and goes. but the joy and the pride. If you can beat Dada on my 11 circle, well, I'm sure that's something that will stay with you forever. So let's have a look at the two squads quickly and try to decipher what the playing 11 would perhaps be. Let's look at the hosts first. England, sir?
Yeah, they're playing 11. I think
pretty much decided, right?
More settled.
Yeah.
So James Wynne is the backup batsman, so he won't play. Tom Curran won't play. One of Plunkett or Wood won't play. So that settles, and then their third spinner Liam Dawson won't play. So it's a pretty settled lineup. They've got 6 batsmen. Then they've got Moeen Ali at 7. It's amazing how often Moeen Ali goes at 7 and scores runs.
Yeah.
And then 8, 9, 10, everyone bats. I mean, I think they've got either Mark Wood or Plunkett batting.
8 is Rashid. 8 is going to be Rashid.
8 is Chris Wokes.
8 is Chris Wokes.
Then Rashid.
Chris Wokes, that I think Rashid batted at 10 because Archer might bat 9.
Yeah.
Rashid
Plunkett will play for sure.
If Plunkett plays, then Rashid might bat 11 because Plunkett goes and tongs the ball as well. But it's either Plunkett or Wood. One of the two will play. Because Plunkett gets wickets in the middle overs, so that might work in his favour.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, it's really like, the Hindi saying, "Pancho ungliyan ghee mein, sar kadai mein, muh mein moti chur ka laddu." Right? That's what it is for them. I could explain that to you, but you pretty much understand. I said the word laddu, you know what that means. It's language agnostic. Let's look at South Africa now. The South African team, you've got Faf du Plessis, who of course is the captain. What's the rest of the squad there for you? Your openers?
Yeah, Quinton de Kock.
And Markram?
Proper Mumbai Indian. Either Markram or what about Hashim Amla? Amla scored. I'd
like to see Amla as an opener.
Yeah, his form of the last 12 months has been terrible. Look, in spite of the last 12 months, if he makes 18 in his next 3 innings, he's faster than Kohli to 8,000 runs.
Yep.
That's how good Hashim Amla has been. So if he and Quinton de Kock can get their partnership going, they might trouble England a little bit. But Amla or Markram, Van der Dusen is a very promising young batsman. Then Faf du Plessis, Dumini, Miller. Then they bat what? They'll have to play either Morris or Pretorius, which means the batting is stronger because they're both probably better batsmen than Steyn. But at that stage, they need wickets by the time you come down there.
Morris is going to play or?
Morris or Pretorius for Dwayne Pretorius.
Falkuk Payo.
He'll play anyway.
Yeah.
Unless they play Shamsi.
Shamsi against England.
Paul Adams' younger brother.
Depends on the wicket.
And depends on the wicket. Yeah.
Depends on the wicket at the Oval tomorrow.
The ICC prepares wickets, right? Now, once the World Cup starts, the wickets are given to the ICC. Yeah.
And they're going to score. They're going to pretty much set up run fests, right?
Well, if they're English groundsmen, they were in a 400 pitch.
Yeah, now maybe 300, 325, you'd say. But going into that, you'd probably say advantage England for tomorrow's game. Would you go as far as saying that, or we'll just discuss that tomorrow? I'll let you sleep on it.
Advantage England, but from South Africa's point of view, I think it's the most important game of the World Cup because they want to start well. Otherwise, you build that talk from the beginning of the tournament.
Yeah.
There we go, South Africa again.
Yeah. But change the narrative.
So if they manage to win the first match, from their point of view also, just the morale of the team will be high that, okay, this is going to be the World Cup which everyone has been waiting for. We have the team. Suddenly the whole energy in the dressing room changes. So from South Africa's point of view, that is going to be the most important thing. From England's point of view, even if they lose the World Cup opener, they have the team to go through.
They have the team to go through
and bring the World Cup alive. Can you imagine? First game, South Africa beat England. Wow, what a start it'll be for the World Cup.
Yeah, can it be? Well, anyway, that's tomorrow on the first day of the tournament. Of course, we will be here tomorrow on My 11 Circle presents Cricbuzz Live to talk to you about the game. Right now, it's time for us to go. Hope you enjoyed this little preview, this little curtain raiser. Big thank you to Mr. Zaheer Khan, to Mr. Harsha Bhogle. You'll be here tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Gaurav Kapur.
Thank you very much. Finally, somebody is thanking me.
You got a mister.
He's thanking me and calling me Mr. I don't know, is he going to rob me now? Is he going to take my wallet? I'm worried. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.